told her, you take this lie detector test, and if you pass this lie detector test, I'll marry you that same and get you a ring that following week. I was gonna go, oh, Sheila, finna surprise. Watch, you finna get this ring. Okay, whatever you say.
I came home and found him and her in our bed naked, and I just, I can't believe it after everything I've done for her. To put it in my face and be in my bed and me walk in and catch him naked, why would it be any different? She slept with my first and my second husband.
I came up with a plan with my best friend. I changed her name in my phone to Dexter, and I was texting her pretending I was talking to a dude just so that he would think I was cheating because he cheated.
Can you believe we're actually starting? Judge introduces the case as Haynes v. Manning. Mr. Haynes claims he is the father of Ms. Manning's 4-year-old daughter, Zoe, despite Ms. Manning's current denial, having previously affirmed his paternity. Grab your popcorn, because this is just the beginning.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Haynes versus Manning.
You have brought Ms. Manning to court today to prove that you are the father of her 4-year-old daughter, Zoe. You say Ms. Manning initially knew that you were Zoe's dad, but now is claiming you are father.
Yes, Honor.
The plot thickens early on here. Mr. Haynes expresses his certainty that Zoe is his daughter, sharing that Ms. Manning sent him a picture of Zoe, which led him to believe Zoe resembled his son. This resemblance reinforced his belief in his paternity. Buckle up. Roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, Zoe is your daughter.
Yes.
And so why?
Manning sent me a picture and thought it was my son at first. It was actually Zoe. So I took a picture of my son and I compared it, and that's when she was my...
Ms. Manning, you are convinced Mr. Haynes is not biological father.
Did anyone see that curveball coming? The relationship history between Mr. Haynes and Ms. Manning is explored. They met when Mr. Haynes was getting a tattoo at her residence and dated briefly. Ms. Manning ended the relationship, prompting Mr. Haynes to reconnect with his ex, mother of his son. Wait until you hear what's up next.
First, let me understand, what was the nature of your relationship?
First met when I was getting a tattoo, and it was at residence, and we only dated for a short period of time until she ended the relationship. So I ended up moving on, got with my ex now, my son's mom.
Was it a committed relationship when you dated, or were you dating other people?
It was a committed relationship.
Things are getting juicy now. Ms. Manning explains the timing of her pregnancy announcement to Mr. Haynes, clarifying that she only told him about the possibility of him being the father when Zoe was 9 months old, despite having the baby without his knowledge. Keep your eyes peeled, because there's more drama ahead.
I didn't inform him he's a possibility until she was like 9 months old.
So you had the baby, and Mr. Haynes never knew. And you had the baby all the way till she was 9 months old. And then you informed Mr. Haynes that he was a possibility. What made you send the photo?
He asked for a photo of her.
And I did not ask photo. I didn't even
When
know
I told
about it.
him that I was pregnant.
You're not going to believe this twist. Ms. Manning reveals she sent a photo of Zoe to Mr. Haynes upon his request, which came after she reached out to inform him about the possibility of his paternity. Strap in, because the revelations just keep coming.
You all were just having conversation. He just reached out to you out of the blue and said, I want to see a picture of Zoe. How did this happen?
I reached out to him.
And what did you say?
Had a baby, possibility, she's yours.
And so he said, send me a picture. And that's what you sent. And once he acknowledged that I believe this is my daughter, what did you say?
I've never told him he was father, and I've never told him he wasn't. It's always been, there's a possibility. And the fact that he's waited 4 years to take a paternity test.
Here's where things get really tangled. Mr. Haynes presents a timeline detailing his interactions and the fluctuating information about his paternity from Ms. Manning, who has alternately affirmed and denied his role as Zoe's father. The truth is around the corner, and it's a doozy.
So, Mr. Haynes, you submitted a timeline to the court. Will you?
March of 2014 is when I received the photo, Zoe, but like I told you guys just previous that I thought it was my son. Then I found out it wasn't.
And you felt like she sent you the picture because she was your child. So you're thinking you are the father?
Yes.
Hold on to your seats. This is a wild ride. Testimonies are presented on the confusing and emotionally charged exchanges about Zoe's paternity, highlighting Ms. Manning's inconsistent claims, which she admits might be influenced by her emotions during arguments. Just when you think you've seen it all, there's more to come.
Where is this proof that I have said you are and you are not father? Because I feel like if I have said that, he would have kept it. And how did it get over my head?
Actually, they've had a conversation where she said, I may have said that only because I'm angry at you.
Did you ever admit to that, Miss Manning, that look, I may be saying things because you getting on my nerve, I'm angry, and I'm just mad, and sometimes I don't want to be bothered with you?
This moment might just break your heart a little. The emotional toll on Zoe is discussed. Ms. Manning admits hoping Mr. Haynes is the father, despite her assertions to the contrary, reflecting her desire for Zoe to have a committed paternal figure in her life. The next revelation is a real jaw-dropper.
Just want to find out the truth because it's been almost 4 years of going back and that I'm the father. So I just want the proof.
And you want to be her father?
Yes.
And he's admittedly not been around, so carrying this burden by yourself. This court, Mr. Haynes, you are not the father.
Strap in for a wild ride. Ms. Hayes opens up with a bombshell, accusing her sister, the defendant, of having a child with her husband. This revelation sets the stage for an explosive family drama filled with betrayal and high emotions. You won't believe how this unfolds, so keep watching.
Ms. Hayes, you say that your sister, the defendant, claims to have a child with your husband of 10 years, and you have petitioned for a paternity test. And you are here to warn her that when he finds out her baby is not his today, probably never hear from him again.
Things just got real. In an emotional recount, Ms. Hayes describes walking in on her sister and husband together, stark naked. She delves into the personal betrayal and the shocking history of her sister's behavior with her previous husbands. The plot thickens, so stay tuned for the next twist.
Ms. Hayes, how did your sister steal your husband?
I came home and found him and her in our bed naked, and I just, I can't believe it after everything I've done for her. To put it in my face and be in my bed and me walk in and catch him naked, why would it be any different? She slept with my first and my second husband.
He had me around each of them in the same predicament.
So you're not denying this,
No.
Ms. Hayes?
Here comes a curveball. Ms. Hayes paints a picture of her sister's troubled past, which includes battles with drugs and prostitution. She highlights her own role in her sister's rocky road to recovery, revealing the complex layers of their family dynamics. Hold tight, because the revelations are about to dive deeper.
I've had custody of this girl since she was 11. The choices that she made between our dad and her mom led her into drugs, prostitution, everything else. The latest time that I rescued you, I helped you get clean. I went to Chicago after not hearing from her for 7. The one time I did hear from her, she didn't even know who I was on the pounds, has sores all over her.
You thought you knew the whole story? Despite their fraught history and the deep wounds of past grievances, there was a time when the sisters shared a close bond, watching movies and spending time together before everything went south. But wait, there's more. Watch as the accusations start to fly.
I had been an addict and homeless for 15 years, and I didn't know how to be respectful. I didn't know how to be a woman. I didn't know how to be a lady. And it doesn't come overnight, and I go to detox for a week. When all this came about, I didn't go to my sister and say, I need sex or I feel lonely. We used to hang out in her room together, watch movies, whatever we would do.
So you guys, first you got along. You were sisters.
Just when it couldn't get more heated, the courtroom heats up with a fiery exchange about the nature of the sisters' relationship and the involvement of Ms. Hayes' husband. Both sisters are tossing blame like hot potatoes, questioning each other's integrity and motives. The courtroom drama intensifies, so don't blink now.
It's not about being the victim. You are one in a line of many. And let me say,
does that mean that you looked your husband in the eye and gave him permission to sleep with your sister?
Yes, I had been with him for 10 years. Right. She is probably about number 35 of the women that he'd been with.
You'll want to sit down for this one. Ms. Hayes drops a bombshell about the nature of her marriage, hinting it might have been more open than anyone expected, including tales of shared birthdays, extra guests. As the story unravels, brace yourself for even more jaw-dropping details.
They also had an open relationship. Shell has invited people, like on Corey's birthday, invited other women. They had an open relationship like that.
It wasn't an open relationship. There was a stripper that came to the house.
Her husband then approaches you. Is there any part of you that just says
that I'm still grateful for her? I did not go about our relationship the right way. Again, I was on drugs. Within a year's time, I didn't have everything perfected.
Not just family drama, but real-life consequences. The focus shifts to the tangible support given to the family, particularly the defendant's child, emphasizing the tangled web of support and conflict within the family. The narrative is building, and the next part will definitely raise some eyebrows.
The part I cannot understand. It sounds like to me, as crazy as it is,
the best thing
that you gave them permission.
The best thing for me is take him away from me.
Do you believe if you've let them go off into the sunset, into this relationship, and you know they're together?
Well, actually, he's older than 6, and he raised a son that he believed was his for 6 years.
And the suspicion thickens. Ms. Hayes voices her skepticism about the paternity of her sister's child, casting doubt on her husband's ability to father the child given his past and a haunting belief in his infertility. The suspense is mounting, and the climax is just around the corner.
You saying to the court that you feel he's unable to have children,
she's not done with him, and she hopes Kayla's not his baby.
If I wanted him, came up to me, asked me to sleep with him, months ago I told you about it.
Ms. Hayes, I have to ask, is the reason why he's not the father of your sister's child because you think he's not able to have children?
Yes, part of it. She's got more than he does, that he's not a man.
Everyone's ears perked up for this. Finally, Mr. Hill steps up to the podium to give his side of the story, adding a fresh layer to the ongoing family saga and the burning question of paternity. The courtroom is on edge, and the revelations to come are nothing short of spectacular.
So, questions that you may not be this beautiful little girl's father. Are you also in question about about that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie. Deep down inside, some doubts is because of, I've been through this situation twice before. I took care of a child 5 years. He's 15-year-old now. Took the DNA test. He wasn't mine.
This is it, folks. The big reveal.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hill, you are her father.
The plot thickens early as Mr. Cooper dives into the deep end of doubt regarding his daughter's paternity, because his wife, Mrs. Cooper, might have shared more than just her time with another man. Mr. Cooper expresses his doubts about the paternity of his daughter due to his wife, Mrs. having an affair around the time of conception. He reveals his motivation for coming to court is to learn from his mother's past of secrets and lies which nearly destroyed their family. Grab your popcorn, because you won't believe what's coming next.
You say your wife, Mrs. Cooper, was secretly sleeping with you and another man around the same time she conceived your daughter. You now seek the truth about your paternity because you say you've learned from your mother that secret can nearly destroy a family. Fair, but say you are certain Mr. Cooper is the father of your child. You state you are here today to prove it. Also want to confront your mother-in-law because you feel she's meddling in your marriage.
You won't see this twist coming. Mr. Cooper details a rather awkward encounter upon returning home early, finding a mysterious black car, its driver, who was more than a little out of place in his living room. Mr. Cooper recounts discovering another man in his house. He returned home early due to a power outage. He describes a confrontation with the man, who was unaware that Mr. Cooper was still living there. This incident deepens his doubts about the paternity of his child. Just wait, it escalates from here.
I got sent home early. There was a power out, and as I'm pulling into the driveway, I see the black car. This guy walks in the building. We didn't think nothing of it, so I go into the house. Same guy just seen him come out the car, and she pretty much stood back like, hey. I mean, she got really, really tough and bad act. So I took the guy out hallway. We had a man-to-man talk.
In a soap opera-worthy confession, Mrs. Cooper owns up to the affair, but throws a curveball by blaming Mr. Cooper's history of infidelity for her actions. Mrs. Cooper admits to the affair, but justifies her actions by highlighting Mr. Cooper's previous infidelities. She explains her need to make Mr. Cooper feel the pain he caused her over the years, suggesting a tumultuous, retaliatory dynamic in their relationship. Buckle up. The roller coaster is just getting started.
On the outs, Walter has done me so much that at that time, I wanted Walter to feel all the pain that he had. We've been off and on for 9 years. The first 4 years of our relationship, cheated on me the whole time.
So you admit?
I admitted that I did cheat. He did not show no attention, no affection. There was nothingness. I mean, he didn't even look at me the same.
Just when you think they might patch things up, Mrs. Cooper drops a bombshell by packing up the kids and bolting after a particularly revealing argument. After Mrs. Cooper is caught cheating, Mr. Cooper narrates the sequence of events that led to a brief reconciliation, followed by Mrs. Cooper abruptly deciding to leave him and take their kids away, marking a significant escalation in their marital crisis. Keep your eyes peeled. The next part is a doozy.
And I moved out of the home.
After you got caught cheating, Mr. Cooper, fill in the blank.
After that particular incident, I thought we was getting things back in order, okay? She wakes up one day, I want to say it was a Monday. Not working anymore. I'm done, I'm out of here. She withdrew the kids from school. She had made a phone call. She was gone.
Is this true, Miss Cooper?
Yep, I left.
In a you can't make this up scenario, Mr. Cooper befriends the very man his wife cheated with without initially knowing his identity. The complexity increases as Mr. Cooper reveals he unknowingly became friends with the man Mrs. Cooper had an affair with. This bizarre twist adds a layer of personal betrayal to the already complicated situation. You think this is crazy? Just wait for what's next.
Now, I know who the other guy is, and I actually had a chance to meet him. We would sit down, we hang out, things of this stuff.
You and the guy cheated with?
Me and the guy that we would sit down.
Talk and hang out?
We sat down.
I've never heard of who knew this person.
Yeah, I know who he is.
And no clue he's sleeping with your wife.
None whatsoever.
Because at that time, we weren't even sleeping together. We were just talking. There was going on between us when him and...
As the courtroom turns into a genetics class, Mrs. Cooper argues that their child's lighter skin could be due to genetics, sparking a debate that could use a biologist on standby. The court discusses the possibility of racial genetics influencing the child's appearance, with Mrs. Cooper asserting that the child's lighter skin could be due to a recessive gene, reflecting the tense intersection of family dynamics and racial identity. Strap in, the emotional altitude is about to get higher.
When I look at Monty, I don't see, and I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, I don't see a black.
Okay, but if you look down his family line, got white in his family line. He even submitted a document of it. His grandmother is white, which the gene passes down. If you get somebody that has white in their genes, and then you get me, which is already, why can't my daughter be bright skinned?
Mrs. Moore jumps into the fray with a heartfelt plea to cut through the family's cycle cycle of secrets and lies, pushing for a resolution that might finally bring some peace. Ms. Moore, Mr. Cooper's mother, steps in to voice her perspective, emphasizing the destructive impact of secrets in their family and expressing her desire to break this cycle with the current paternity issue. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, the next segment will flip the script.
All right, everything you're saying is true. Ashley, I love her dearly, and I love Armani. But if you step to me and tell me, well, I want to know from the time she was born, I told Walter he could have a DNA test. I want to know too.
A piece of paper should not. You stepped up at that hospital when you signed that birth certificate.
So, Mr. Cooper, you signed birth certificate.
Yes, I did.
Amidst the storm, Mr. Cooper shares his side, detailing the emotional sacrifices he's made for his family's well-being, which highlights the personal turmoil beneath his stoic exterior. Mr. Cooper shares his emotional turmoil, admitting to putting his feelings aside to support his wife and family despite the ongoing personal and marital challenges. His commitment highlights his deep familial loyalty and the personal sacrifices he makes. The saga continues, and it's about to get even more heartfelt.
I'm having problems in my personal business life. I bring it to my wife. Tell her this is what the situation is. We tend to, I brought it to you, do this, or why did you do that? And like I would tell Ashley, I'm still that same man that when you, on July when we had our first date and found out you was pregnant by another and you didn't want him growing up this situation, let me sign the birth certificate.
As the courtroom holds its breath, Ms. Moore brings a sense of urgency to the impending revelation of the paternity results, stressing the importance of moving forward for the children's sake. As the court prepares to reveal the paternity results, Ms. Moore speaks about the importance of breaking the cycle of secrets and ensuring the well-being of all children involved, regardless of the paternity outcome. Fasten your seatbelts. The verdict is just around the corner.
I've lived with it. I'm 7 years old. I lived with it with my mother, lived with it with my 30-year-old, and now I got a granddaughter, and they need to get it done. Not only is Armani affected by this, they got 3 other kids. She's got 4 babies with 4 baby daddies, and he's daddy 5 for all of them. So as my son took on this responsibility, respect your wife, and they all need to love their.
Mr. Cooper, you are not her father.
Can you handle what just went down? Mr. Richardson, deep in regret, spills that he signed the birth certificate for a child he's not sure is his. He's dreading the wallet hit from child support for a kid he believes isn't his. Ms. Robbins counters with fire, claiming the DNA will shout that he's the dad. Their exchange cuts, unearthing the emotional whirlwind and snap decisions at the birth, showcasing Mr. Richardson's full presence during the pregnancy saga and the delivery drama. Just when you think it couldn't get more heated, the next part turns up the temperature.
Mr. Richardson, you claim you made a huge mistake. You signed the birth certificate of the 2-month-old son, DeMarlon, even though you doubt are his father. You want to prove your case before you pay child support for a baby you isn't yours. You say plaintiff's only mistake is denying your son because you claim the DNA will prove that is DeMarlon's father. That is correct.
Did that just happen? The courtroom heats up as Mr. Richardson brings up his doubts about the baby's paternity based on his light-skinned appearance at birth, which baffled him. The judge jumps in, reminding everyone that kids can pop out looking like a rainbow of possibilities, and looks aren't a reliable paternity test. This slice of the session highlights how easily racial and physical characteristics can stir unnecessary drama in paternity disputes. Buckle up, the roller coaster is about to dive even deeper.
When I saw the baby, and I asked her, "You sure this baby is mine? Is there no one else?" And she was like, "No, there's no one else."
But does that?
But he was so, when I saw the baby, he was so like a Mexican or something. He was just real light.
Mexican. Children come in all shapes, and he just spent 9 months or more in the womb.
That's true.
Are we on a reality show? Ms. Robbins drops a bombshell, revealing she was still technically married when she first met Mr. Richardson, but later flashed him divorce papers when things got serious. Mr. Richardson, ever the skeptic, questions the authenticity of online docs. This twist dives into their trust issues and relationship complexities, mixed with legal and emotional quagmires. The plot thickens, and believe me, you'll want to stick around for what's coming next.
When we got into being more into a serious relationship, I knew that I wanted to be with him. I decided that I wanted to tell him, and I showed him that I was divorced. And I hadn't been with no one else for him, so I don't understand the whole DNA part, especially if it was just me and him.
When you showed me that paper, it was on the internet. I looked it up.
And he said that anybody be on the internet, but I showed him the declaration. He just doesn't believe anything, including that DeMarlon is his.
This just keeps getting juicier. Amidst the chaos, Ms. Robbins and Mr. Richardson walk us through the moment they found out about the pregnancy and their decision to embrace it despite the stormy weather in their relationship. This part of the tale explores how they grappled with doubts and duties amidst an unexpected pregnancy, uncovering layers of unresolved issues. The tension's not dropping yet. The next revelation is set to throw another curveball.
I wasn't feeling good, so I decided to go get a pregnancy test, and it was positive. I also got another pregnancy test. Mr. Richardson, he's so full on a lot of things. The pregnancy test together.
What do you want to do? We're gonna have the baby because we're doing some stupid stuff. I'm not gonna blame this child. We're gonna have it.
So you decided that we should have the baby.
And I was happy.
You think it can't get crazier, but oh, it does. dud. The chat turns to a missed DNA appointment that sends Ms. Robbins' hesitance and Mr. Richardson's frustration through the roof, exposing a deep well of mistrust. The judge points out how Ms. Robbins' dodging seems to feed Mr. Richardson's doubts about paternity, suggesting she might be avoiding a face-off with the truth. Hang on, the saga takes a wild swing in the next segment.
Is this the first time you've tried to get a DNA test, Mr. Richardson?
No, it's not, Yana. She made an appointment. We supposed to 35, it was 2 something, to go get a DNA test. She said, I set an appointment. I'm gonna come at 4:30 when you get off work. I got there at 3 o'clock. Yes, you made the appointment. But you said it was 4:30. I got at your house at 3 o'clock. Dang, we sitting around. I'm like, what's up?
Who made the
Are we
appointment?
going to get this one?
I'm the one who agreed on DNA even.
Grab your popcorn for this bombshell.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Richardson, you are father.
Mr. Alexander spills the tea on why he's doubting he's the dad, pointing fingers at mysterious late-night texts from a dude named Dexter. He's convinced that Ms. Stewart's sketchy behavior and flimsy alibis about her whereabouts scream infidelity.
Several reasons why my name should be removed from the birth certificate. For one night we were in the bed chilling. I seen text messages and several calls from this guy named Dexter. She wouldn't answer the phone when I was in the room. I guess she would wait until maybe I left or whatever. That's kind of a suspicion for me.
In a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, Ms. Stewart admits to sneaking a tracking device onto Mr. Alexander's phone to catch him in the act. She presents his late-night chats with another woman, ramping up the drama over who's cheating on whom.
I started feeling that he was cheating on me, and I went online, I guess try to see if there was a way that you could tell if your partner is cheating. And so I saw this website that says 7 ways to know if partner is cheating on you. And every single one doing everything that it said. And then at the bottom of the link it said tracking device on his phone. So I put it on there, and sure enough, there was a girl that he was talking to tracking device.
Throwing a curveball into the mix, Ms. Stewart confesses to faking text with Dexter to make Mr. Alexander jealous after she thought he was stepping out. This fake affair was her play to make him stew in his own jealous juices.
I came up with a plan with my best friend. I changed her name in my phone to Dexter, and I was texting her pretending I was talking to a dude just so that he would think I was cheating because he cheated.
I've seen the text messages about, can I come see you? How you doing?
Yeah,
like her man when I'm supposed to be her man. That's, like I said, that's doubts of cheating right there to me, if you ask me.
Courtney Alexander, Mr. Alexander's sister and longtime confidant of Ms. Stewart, steps up to the witness stand. He throws a wrench into the works by suggesting that Ms. Stewart's stories about Dexter might not be as fake as claimed.
Hi, I'm Mr. Alexander's sister.
What do you know about this?
Ms. Stewart and I have been friends for over 15 years. We've always talked and told each other secrets about, having backup plans as far as if you have a boyfriend, keeping one on the side for when your boyfriend makes you mad, you just go talk to other guys or whatever. As far as this guy goes, it's not a hoax. We actually hang out all the time.
Ms. Stewart lays it all out, tearfully detailing how Mr. Alexander has been a ghost during her pregnancy and beyond, neglecting even to hold their daughter. This emotional testimony highlights the deep personal toll the paternity drama has taken.
He doesn't do anything. I asked him if he can make her a bottle. So I gave Jiraiya to him, went to go make the bottle, and when I come back, he's on the bed crying. He doesn't want, he hold her, he
Your
doesn't
Honor,
want to do anything.
You don't want to hold beautiful
I'm not
baby?
gonna take care of something that I don't know for sure if it's not mine.
Mr. Alexander, you are her father.
Can you believe what just unfolded? Mr. Moody accuses Miss Vaughn, who is a whopping 16 years younger, of being a serial cheater. He claims she has been unfaithful with multiple men and staunchly believes the DNA test will slap a big, fat, not the father on her 3-year-old son, Kadir. Miss Vaughn, on her part, admits to her escapades, but swears on her favorite lip gloss that Mr. Moody is the real dad. But hold on to your socks, because this is just the warm-up act.
Mr. Moody, say Ms. Vaughn, who is 16 years your junior, is a serial cheater. Can't trust it. You claim cheated on you with multiple men, and you are convinced the DNA test proved that you did not father her 3-year-old son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Vaughn, admit you have been unfaithful, but say you are certain Mr. Moody is Kadir's biological father. Yes, Your Honor.
Buckle up, this part's a doozy. The plot thickens when Miss Vaughn drops a bombshell. It's possible her oldest might not call Mr. Moody daddy. This pushes them to march right into a DNA test shop for some truth serum. This revelation jolts Mr. Moody, even though the older kid turned out to be his. And just when you think it can't get crazier, it does.
So much so that you had to admit the oldest son may not be his.
I did admit it, yes, Your Honor.
So what happened then?
By her admitting it, I got to take the DNA test. I have to do this. So what I did, we got the money together, and we went and took a DNA test. Come to find out, child was mine. I felt real good about that.
So you got that care of, you got, but you say the warning signs kept happening?
You're not ready for this twist. Mr. Moody is digging through the dirt, literally. He finds grass in his car, which is weird, since Miss Vaughn claimed her passenger seat had been as empty as a politician's promises. This fresh layer of mystery cranks up his suspicion to new heights.
One day she drove to work, come home, I'm getting up that morning, I'm finna go to work. I get in the car. When I seen this, I ain't asking that. When I get in the car, I look grass all on the floor of my car in there. Keep in mind now, before I seen that grass and all that stuff in the car, when the what you had in the car? Oh, I ain't had nobody in the car.
The scene shifts to a lie detector test that Miss Vaughn flunked, not just failed. Mr. Moody had made it a deal breaker for their walk down the aisle. Her flubbing the test left him second-guessing more than just her fidelity. Get ready, the next bit is a real jaw-dropper.
So you say, Mr. Moody, she took a lie detector test and these are the results?
That thing cost me $400. Well, she wants to get married, young. I told her, you take this lie detector test, and if you pass this lie detector test, I'll marry you that same and get you a ring that following week. I was gonna go, oh, Sheila, finna surprise. Watch, you finna get this ring. Okay, whatever you say.
And now for the main event. The results of the lie detector test spill the beans. Miss Vaughn has been playing the field since 2013. This segment, rife with deceit about her dalliances, shatters any leftover trust Mr. Moody had. But wait, there's another twist on the horizon.
During the lie detector testing, you were asked, since 2013, you had a sexual relationship any male than LaGrease. That would be Mr. Moody.
Liar.
You failed that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next question. Since 2013, have you lied to LaGrease about sexual contact you had with another male?
Liar.
You failed that.
Grab your popcorn for the grand finale.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Moody, you are the father.
Hello.
No.